On this day, 64 years ago, February 3rd, 1959, a plane crash in Clear Lake, Iowa made legends out of three rock and roll musicians and changed music forever. ABC 6 News Good Morning reporter Sydney Zatz is in studio to take us back to the day the music died.
The story begins at the Surf Ballroom in Clear Lake, the winter dance party tour featuring Buddy Holly, Ritchie Valens, and the Big Bopper. After the show, because of the cold and a tour bus with no heat, the plan was to fly to Fargo, North Dakota for their next performance in Moorhead. Just before 1 in the morning, they took off from the Mason City Municipal Airport. The weather, light snow with low visibility. Pilot Roger Peterson was planning for snow, but not the bad visibility. The plane crashed nearly 6 miles from the airport, just north of Clear Lake and Mason City, instantly killing all four on board the small Beechcraft Bonanza. Buddy Holly, Ritchie Valens, and the Big Bopper. Pilot Peterson was also killed in that Iowa field, and it would be hours before someone went looking for them.
It was a gray day, a gray, gloomy day.
Jim Collison was a reporter for the Mason City Globe-Gazette in 1959. He was one of the few journalists on the scene. The call coming into the newsroom at 9:30 a.m.
Of course, immediately things started to move. I mean, real fast. He told me to go to the crash site, and of course he told the photographer, Ellen Musser, to go to the crash site.
Photos that would be seen around the world for decades.
Ellen took his pictures and we rushed back because we then were at a deadline because this was big national news and we had to get a story out of it as fast as we could.
Jeff Nicholas is the president of the Surf Ballroom. He also owns the farmland where the plane crashed. He grew up there.
You know, people talk about the music dying, and a lot of people think that the music died at the surf, but this is where the music died.
Nicholas was a teenager when he learned that the infamous crash happened on his farm.
The wings of the plane, one of the wings of the plane hit in and actually dug a trench in the frozen ground, which is absolutely incredible.
Connie Valens was only 8 years old when her brother Ritchie died in the crash. No photos with him. She just has the memories, including their last Christmas together.
Mama had made a big party and we had the Christmas tree, and I knew he was coming in. I wanted to be the first person that saw him when he walked in the door. And he goes, "Mija," which is an endearment, and hugs me. He gives me a big old kiss on the lips. And I remember kind of wiping my mouth and saying, "Is that what I waited up for?"
Connie heard from her classmates at school that her brother died. She thought it was just a rumor. It wasn't until she got home when she found out the rumor was true.
I mean, you're 8 years old. Your world has just crashed in around you. Your brother/dad is gone. I felt very alone.
And things could have been different. A backstage coin toss determined their fate. This is the room where Tommy Alsop, a member of Buddy Holly's band, lost a coin toss to Ritchie Valens. Ritchie winning that seat on the flight.
There was a period of time after this happened that people didn't really talk about it. I mean, this was not Clear Lake's finest hour.
Nicholas holds a winter dance party every year, giving people a chance to travel back in time. Thanks to the help of Jeff Boxell, a Buddy Holly impersonator.
Let's keep it rolling, boys. My favorite. Come on.
Keeping the music alive for all generations, including students at Clear Creek Elementary School, who got to take part in their own winter dance party.
We get to go to the Surf Ballroom for school, for the winter dance party. We get to dance and listen to old music from Buddy Holly, Ritchie Valens, and Big Bopper. I love the Big Bopper because I love his music and how nice he was.
It was such a blast. All these little 3rd and 4th graders dressed up like Buddy Holly, and they're having so much fun, and just to be able to keep that music alive.
People come here from all over the world, like Michael Delph from England. He visits every year.
I became aware of these tributes because I did see Buddy Holly in England in 1958, and when I heard this was going on, I just thought, I have to come here.
And if there's one song that helped put Clear Lake on the map,
and I wanted to write a big song about America. And I had already, heard songs like This Land Is Your Land. I didn't want to write that kind of a song. I wanted to write something that was completely modern, so I fused politics with rock and roll.
McLean was a paperboy when the crash happened, and he wrote the song 12 years later. Did you think 50 years later it would still be popular?
No, I didn't. I didn't think I'd be doing this interview 50 years later about it, I'll tell you that. I mean, it's become a huge thing over the years.
The Grammy-nominated song is not the only way the victim's legacy is staying alive. The Surf's Winter Dance Party and the crash anniversary aren't seen as a time for mourning.
This isn't a cold, dark place that took their loved ones. This is the place their loved ones were performing and doing what they loved for the last time.
It's a time to celebrate the music.
Keeping alive the legacies, not only of my brother, but of all musicians that we have lost, that we loved the day the music died. It didn't die, it still lives.
It was a tragedy, but we also remember the great music and culture created by the men we lost. Connie Valens is right. Despite Don McLean's lyrics, the music never died, and it never will. In studio, Sydney Zatz, ABC 6.